Mike, this one hit me almost probably as bad as it hit Joe. I can't believe that Joe's going down again.
Joe is down.
You know, Andrew Corliss had this reputation, and he was sort of a prankster. It seemed like he was doing it on purpose. But Devon Smith in practice runs into Joe. Media day's been canceled. What's going on at Happy Valley?
What the heck is going on up there? Well, this was on Sunday, and they were having practice at their indoor facility, and Devin Smith is running a pass pattern, and he's looking back for the ball, and Joe is taking notes, and he's over here like this, and he just Smith blindsided Joe, and Joe apparently has hairline fractures in an arm and in his pelvis that are not going to require surgery, apparently. Media day was supposed to be Thursday. It has been postponed. I've heard it's going to be Monday. We'll find out. Mm-hmm. An interesting thing here is that Devin Smith is like 5'7", 160 pounds. He's the smallest guy in the team. He might be the fastest guy in the team, but he's the smallest guy in the team. And so, I mean, you don't know what to make of this because you hear the description of what happened, and, well, you know, that could happen to anybody.
One thing I think of is this wasn't like he's on the sideline, he couldn't get out of the way because he's older. He's taking notes with his back turned, and a player who's not paying, who's going after a ball runs into him. That could have happened to... you name it.
It could have happened to anybody, but this is like the fourth such incident.
Yeah, he's 84 years old,
and he's 84 years old. So I mean, it doesn't seem to happen to anybody unless this happens at practice more often than we know to 34-year-old and 44-year-old and 54-year-old coaches who can get up and we're okay. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, it's just the whole thing is strange, and it's another factor in the gigantic, complicated equation of whether Joe has outlived his optimal service in the job.
I was going to bring it up. How's that? Another chapter in the Joe.
Yeah.
You know, he was healthy. You saw him a lot 2 weeks ago in Chicago.
Looked pretty good.
He looked pretty good. How is this going to change and add to this chapter? He's on the last year of his contract. I guess it's sort of wait and see, but what do you think?
Well, you know, last week we talked on the show about how you know, Penn State is, in terms of producing revenue, in terms of producing students, academics, and in terms of staying clean and NCAA clean, they're off the charts. They're as good as it gets, and you got to be very leery about kicking that away if you're going to get rid of Joe. But on the other hand, now here's a guy who how much is he physically limited in terms of what he can do? This is a very, very physically demanding 12-month-a-year job, and so that's kind of the other side of it. He doesn't travel to recruit anymore. How much of a negative is that? Yeah. He obviously can't do what he used to do in terms of hands-on coaching. How much of a negative is that? He's injury prone. I mean, how much of a negative is that? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. My take on this changes over time, and this is another reason why it changes over the time. It's the endless story of how JoePa's career is going to end. We don't know, and we don't know how it. I'm not sure how it ought to end, and I certainly don't know how it will end.
To be continued.
There you go.